my name is Eminence, and today I want to talk about a very serious issue. We all have a voice that we should use to speak up. No matter how small the subject may be, always speak up. And today, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not only going to speak up, but I'm also going to educate people. I also don't want this to be a one-sided conversation, so feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. Today's topic will be about discrimination. Although it's never okay to discriminate against people because of their race, beliefs, sexual orientation, or gender, there are 3 groups of people you are allowed to discriminate against. The first group is people who haven't seen an MCU movie. We're in a pandemic. What are you waiting for? If you don't do it now, you will never do it. The second group is people who've only seen Avengers Endgame and then complain about how they don't understand the characters' motivations in the movie. It's 21 movies, and you're just gonna skip all of them? How do you sleep at night? Better yet, do you even have any respect for yourself? The third group is people who pour the milk before the cereals. I could write a whole essay about people who haven't seen an MCU movie, but that's not why we're here today. Today we're going to focus on the third group, because talking about the first 2 groups is going to take me about 3 videos to make, and clearly I have a life, so we're not going to do that. So, people who put the milk before the cereals. I can do this. I can do this. Action. First, if you are not one of those people, share this video with somebody who is an NBC or with somebody you suspect to be an NBC. If you are an NBC, welcome. I clearly care about your well-being because I made a whole video for you. But this behavior is going to stop right now. I've seen all episodes of Dr. Phil, so in a way I'm a psychologist and I know how to treat this behavior. And I'm such a good person that I am giving you this information for free. People don't understand the struggles of living in a first world country. Sometimes my food gets delivered, not really cold, but also not really hot. And then they expect me to put it in the microwave for about a minute. It's just hard. I was talking to this friend the other day, and we're like really good friends. I mean, I've known him like forever. It's kind of a long story. I mean, we've met 3 weeks ago. He still lives with his 5th baby mama. I've sent him some money, but that's not why I'm bringing it up. He confessed to me that he's an NBC. That's something you share with someone as soon as you meet them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get emotional, but I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get emotional. But after he confessed that to me, he has kids. Those people are allowed to have children. Those children will be the future of society. After that, I had a choice to make. Do I still want to talk to that person? Do I want to be associated with those people? That is when I found my purpose. I have to educate the NBCs of the world. I have to tell them that what they believe is right is actually wrong. And I have the science to prove it. My sources will be linked in the description below, but you don't have to check them, because I know that what I'm saying is the only truth. So let me start with a few statistics I find online. This study was conducted in 1847. It's 174 years old. Over the years, the science community didn't find a need to redo the study. This proves how accurate this study still is today. The participants were asked to complete the following tests. They had to put on a hat and then ride a horse for 2 hours. Then, participants were asked to eat cereals for the following month. One group had to start with the milk. The other group had to start with the cereals. After that month, they got retested. 100% of the participants wanted to know what the point was of the study. This means that all participants asked too many questions. At this point, the scientists decided to replace all participants with people who looked just like the original set of participants. They then proceeded with the research. 50% of black men reported that they didn't remember doing the first test and wanted to know how they got there. The other 50% preferred red over blue hats. 64% of white men also wanted to know how they got there. 22% preferred a red hat. The remaining 25% did not like the horse they were given. 14% of brown people also preferred the red hats. Half of that 14% started asking how they got there. The remaining participants did not complete the test. For the Asian population, it is important to notice that only one Asian was tested, but the participant reassured the researchers that he represented the whole Asian community, so they didn't need to bring in more Asian participants. 100% of Asian men preferred the red hat. The other 100% wanted to know what happened to some of the brown people, and the remaining 22% wanted to know how they got there. You can clearly see the difference in behavior before and after 1 month of pouring the milk first. Participants had become more aggressive and the majority of them preferred the red hat. Red as in the color of the devil, evil and blood. They kept asking too many questions and made it harder for scientists to do proper research. They were also more likely to adopt a dangerous lifestyle like running with scissors. Here is what happened to the group who put the cereals before the milk into the bowl. 100% of black men said they loved the new Yeezys they were offered. 100% of them preferred the blue hats. A small 20% wanted to know when they were going to get paid. 100% of white men loved the Yeezys. 60% preferred the blue hat. 100% wanted to know about the check. 100% of brown people loved the Yeezys. 30% started asking about the checks. The remaining 50% did not complete the test. For Asian men, they already had a guy who reassured them that he represented the whole Asian community. 100% of Asian men loved the Yeezys. 100% preferred the blue hat. One person got paid. When you put the results side by side, you can clearly see that people who start with the cereals make better life partners. They are more trustworthy. Their blood pressure drops because of the calming effects of the color blue. They also walk with the scissors instead of running with them. The same study was also done on women. Sadly, researchers couldn't find any black women to participate. They were quoted as saying, "Ain't nobody got time for that." But there are results on white, Asian and brown women. Before continuing, it is important to say that back then women were not allowed to wear hats, so they were asked to put on an imaginary hat. This small difference didn't really influence the outcome. Women who started with the milk were more aggressive and started wearing pants on a daily basis. The women who started with the cereals reported that they loved Beyoncé's new drip and their blood pressure also dropped significantly. The only difference between men and women who started with the cereals is that about 65% of the women reported that their heads felt heavier after the 30 days. For Asian women, the researchers already had an Asian person who reassured them that they represented the whole Asian community. In the following chart, you can clearly see that only after a few days, changes started to happen. The reason I am doing this is because I care. I care about your well-being and your sanity. I don't have a psychology degree, but I was trained by Dr. Phil. I've seen all the episodes, so I know how to properly diagnose people. MBCs are more likely to become vapors later in life. This is due to the fact that their frontal lobe, which is the part of the brain where the decision making happens, is much smaller in the brain of an MBC. This severely affects their decision-making skills. MBCs are also more likely to be cat people. If you don't believe me, just look at the research in the description. But the fact that I already told you all of this is more than enough proof. You don't actually have to check my sources. Luckily, I can help you. I have the solution. And I'm willing to take some time out of my day to help you take better care of yourself, to help you understand that I am right and you're wrong. Together, we can't coexist. You just have to stop. Stop being you. Stop being yourself. Society can handle you being yourself. Even if you're not hurting anyone, stop pouring your milk before your cereals so that I can feel better about myself. Stop being an NBC. Hashtag stop NBC. You have a long road ahead of you. But like I said, I'm here to help you. I got you. So let's go back to basics and just make a nice, loving bowl of cereals. Let's do it together, hand in hand, side by side. My cereal choice is one that looks healthy, but in reality, it's not. But 80% of the time, I don't even live in reality, so we're fine, perfectly fine. This cereal has some chocolate covered flakes, so I pour some of it in a bowl and then fish out some extra covered flakes and add them to my bowl. After a while, you will end up with a bag that only has regular flakes left. I could throw it away, but the millennial in me is all about not wasting food, so I just leave the box on the shelf and start a new one. I'm probably never going to eat it, but I also didn't throw it away, so my moral compass is totally fine with it. Depending on your appetite, you choose the right size bowl. This one is a bit small, but you also have medium, large, XL, double XL, and I have yet to find a triple XL. Now that you have found the right size for you, pour some cereal in the bowl. If you use the same cereals as me, don't forget to fish out some extra chocolate coated flakes. Now walk over to a mirror and congratulate yourself because you have completed the first step. Good job. Thank you. Step 2 is the most important part of preparing a proper bowl of cereal. The way you add the milk. Don't just throw it in there, but pour it while making a swirl. Nice and gently, nice and gently, nice and gently, nice and gently, nice and gently. For the last part, you can add some extra sugars, especially if as an adult you're still eating Cheerios or Frosted Flakes. That extra boost of energy will get you through the day better than a cup of coffee. But for this type of cereal, I prefer adding some agave syrup. Just a little bit, not too much. Et voila, you have completed your mission. You now know how to make a proper bowl of cereal. You now have no excuse for wanting to be yourself. I've given you all the tools to be normal like us. If you stay consistent and keep going, you will get out of that negative mindset. I know you feel the way you want to feel, but I feel that you can feel the way you want to feel. So now that you've educated yourself, pass the message to the person on your left. This was Eminence with Educate Yourself lesson number 1. See you next time. Oh, I'm happy to see you still here. This is the bonus part of the video. Believe it or not, but there is a way to bring a boring bowl of cereal to the next level in just a few minutes. Before adding the syrup, you add some extra flakes. So it's cereal, extra chocolate coated flakes, milk, flakes, and then some syrup. Let that sit for about 20 to 45 minutes. The cornflakes is going to absorb all the milk and become a soggy mess. But I call it instant cake. The flakes you've added after the milk will not absorb as much milk as the one beneath them, which means they will still have some crisp to them and act as a crumble. So now it's a cereal crumble cake. You're welcome. Bye.